There is a man right now sitting on a fortune he will never touch. Not because he lacks talent. It's not because he lacks opportunity. It's because he never learned to open the box it is sitting in. Along a dusty trade route in the heart of a desert kingdom, a wealthy merchant named Jabir decided to test something. He had spent decades building his empire, and he wanted to know one thing before he retired. Was wealth something you were born with, or something anyone could learn? So he chose 4 young men from the poorest families in the nearest village: Soren, Amin, Khalid, and Ravi. None of them had ever held more than a handful of coins in their lives. Jabir brought them to his estate, sat them down, and placed one locked wooden box in front of each of them. Inside each box was 50 gold coins, a life-changing amount for anyone in their village. Jabir handed each young man a single key and told them the same thing. The key opens the box. The box holds your future. What you do with what is inside determines everything. Then he left them alone. Soren looked at his box. He looked at the key, turned the key. The lock clicked open, lifted the lid, saw the coins, and felt a rush he had never experienced before. He took every coin out, held them in his hands, and spent that entire first week celebrating. He bought food he had never tasted. He wore clothes he could never afford. He showed the coins to everyone he knew. Within 3 months, the coins were gone. Every single one. Spent on things that gave him a moment of happiness and left him with nothing permanent. The box sat empty on a shelf, a reminder of what he once had. Amin did something different. He opened the box, but barely touched the coins. He was terrified of spending them and running out. So he locked the box again and hid it under his bed. Every night he checked on it. Every morning he reminded himself it was there. The coins stayed untouched for an entire year, 2 years, 5 years. Amin felt safe. He felt secure, but the coins never grew. They never worked. They just sat there, frozen, doing nothing. His life outside the box never changed. He was still poor, still stuck. The wealth existed, but it was completely disconnected from his actual life. Khalid opened his box and immediately started asking questions. How were these coins made? What system created them? He wanted to understand the entire economy before he touched a single coin. He read everything he could find. He traveled to other towns to watch how merchants operated. He spent months studying theory after theory. 2 years passed. Khalid knew more about money than almost anyone in the region. He could explain trade routes, could describe market cycles, could predict seasonal pricing with impressive accuracy. But he had not used his 50 coins to build a single thing. Not one trade, not one investment, not one step forward. The knowledge sat in his head. The coins sat in the box. Neither one was doing anything. Ravi opened his box on day 1. He looked at the 50 coins and asked himself a simple question. What is the smallest thing I can do with these coins today that could become something bigger tomorrow? He noticed that the nearest village had no reliable source of clean water. People walked 2 hours each way to fill their containers, so Ravi used 10 coins to hire a man with a donkey to haul water from a closer well once a day. He sold the water to villagers at a small profit. Just 2 coins a day above his cost? It was not impressive. Nobody looked at Ravi and thought he was doing something remarkable, but he was learning. He was watching what people needed, was figuring out how to solve a problem and get paid for it. Every mistake he made taught him something. Every small success showed him a pattern he could repeat. After 3 months, Ravi expanded. He hired a second donkey carrier, then a third, moved into selling other goods the village needed. Each time he made a mistake, he adjusted. Each time something worked, he scaled it up slightly. By the end of the first year, Ravi had turned his 50 coins into 320. Not through luck. Through repeated action, repeated learning, and repeated adjustment. Now look at where all 4 of them stood after that first year. Soren had 0 coins and a pile of things that were already wearing out. Amin had 50 coins doing nothing under his bed. Khalid had 50 coins and a head full of theory he never tested.
God.
Ravi had 320 coins and a working system that made more every single month. Same starting point, same box, same key. It's 4 completely different outcomes based on one variable. What they actually did with what they had. Here is the lesson that cuts through everything else. Knowledge without action is storage, not wealth. Spending without strategy is destruction, not living. Hoarding without growth is fear, not safety. The only path that actually builds something is the one where you open the box, take out a small piece, and put it to work in the real world immediately. Most people fall into one of the three traps. They spend everything the moment they get it because it feels good. They save everything and never let it grow because losing it terrifies them. They study endlessly and convince themselves they are not ready yet. Ravi was not the smartest. He was not the most careful. He was simply the one who started doing something real with what he had before he felt fully prepared. Here's what you can do starting this week. First, identify which trap you are in. Are you spending money the moment it arrives with nothing to show for it a month later? Are you saving but never investing or building anything? Or are you researching and planning but never actually moving forward? Be honest. Most people already know which one applies to them. Second, pick one thing. Just one. Something small you can start or invest in this week with whatever amount you currently have available. It does not need to be 50 coins. It could be 5. The size does not matter. What matters is that it is real. It is in the world. It is doing something outside of your head and outside of your savings account. Third, track what happens. After 30 days, look at what you learned. What worked? What failed? Adjust and repeat. This is the actual cycle that builds wealth. Not one big decision. Dozens of small ones made faster than the people around you. The realistic timeline looks like this. Month 1 feels uncomfortable and uncertain. Month 3, you start seeing small returns. Year 1, you have a system that works without you guessing every time. Year 3, the gap between you and people who never started becomes impossible to close. Jabir checked on all 4 young men 2 years after the test. Soren was back to where he started. Ayman was still hiding his box. Khalid was still studying. Ravi had built a small but growing business and was already training someone else to run part of it. Jabir smiled at Ravi and said nothing. He did not need to. The results spoke clearly enough. The box is already open. The coins are already yours. The only question left is what you are actually going to do with them. Subscribe for more wealth parables.